The Fandom Bricks Podcast.
It is that time of the week again for the Fandom Bricks Podcast. Once again, I am your host, the Galaxy of Bricks, joined by her ladyship, Lady Pod of Bricks. And not only that, we also have, all the way from the United States of America, making her debut on the Fandom Bricks Podcast, we have the Ginger Lady. Woo! Welcome to the podcast, guys. It is a pleasure having you here with us. I'm absolutely excited to know that I've got the pod and the Ginger Lady on my solo episode. You know, Sam is missing it, so it's nice to have both of you here instead. It's kind of nice. Oh, wholesome. So yeah, welcome, guys. Obviously, you guys are, I hope, avid listeners of the Fandom Bricks podcast. If not, I'm going to be bitterly disappointed because I've listened to every episode of Brick at Night. Just saying, pod. Yeah, that's like 5 or 6 hours worth of podcasting. And for those of you who are not aware, we do have competition out there from the Brick at Night podcast, but we also like pod bricks. So we're kind of being really nice and allowing her access to the pod because we had Ken. Yeah, for legal reasons, we have to have her on. Yeah, Just my lawyer has told me I have to kind of have that disclaimer at the start. So yeah, thank you. So we've got a lot to cover for tonight's episode. So let's just get straight into it. As always, we kick off with our opening segment, which is Lego Life Stories. Now, Pod, would you like to go first? Tell us a little bit about your Lego Life Story this week. What have you been building? What have you bought? What has caught your eye in Lego?
I surprisingly have not built or bought, but I did take apart Dom's charger so that I can inventory it. When I bought it secondhand, and it came partially assembled, but I have no idea if it's complete. So it is currently sitting next to me in pieces in 4 different trays, and I'll be inventorying that the rest of this week and figuring out what I'm missing or rebuilding. I'm not sure, but that's about it.
Wow. Okay, so that's for you. That's actually very, very, very quiet. I'm shockingly surprised by that.
Know.
I don't know if I can digest that.
I know.
What about you, Ginger Lady? Or should I call you Amanda? Because that is your given name. What about you? Yeah. How has your Lego Life Story been this week?
I don't think I've actually built anything either. But I did just get the 2 new flower botanical sets delivered right before I came down here to talk with you guys.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Couldn't even open it yet.
So you've given up opening Lego for this episode of the Fandom Bricks podcast. So, you know, just saying, that's how elite we are. This is episode 13, and Ginger Lady has effectively given up opening Lego for our recording. So, yes. So pretty much for you two then, fairly quiet weeks. I'm guessing, you know, it's just one of them, like you say. I think January's been a bit of a strange month for us all. We're all trying to save money in some ways, but we can't in others. Me, on the other hand, I finished and filmed my Sanctum Sanctorum video. That is finally done. That is currently sat less than 6 inches away from me, and it looks absolutely amazing. I'm very happy with that. I also started my first ever Lego City set last night. I've just done the first 2 bags of the NASA Lunar Rover as well, so that is pretty exciting, and I'm quite happy with that. But in terms of actually buying stuff, I haven't bought anything for once. I've actually been deciding to go through my backlog and not build anything, so it's fairly standard. But obviously now that it's 1st of February, time of recording, who knows how the month is going to go. It could either go really well or it could go really, really, really catastrophic almost.
Well, it's February, so it's already a few days shorter, so it's definitely going to go quickly, at the very least.
True.
Yeah, that is so true. So, now that we've gotten Lego Life Stories out the way, I think we should go through our first topic of tonight's episode. Now, the 2 ladies who are joining me for tonight's episode of the Fandom Bricks podcast are both massive Harry Potter fans. One more so than the other. I mean, one is a Hufflepuff, the other is a Slytherin, but, you know, go figure. You never thought you'd get them in the same room. But I'd like to pose a hypothetical question to both of you. Now, say, for argument's sake, Harry Potter, God forbid, didn't exist as a theme. This is obviously an alternate universe. And you could not collect Harry Potter. What would your theme potentially be? Would it be something that other people collect? Would it be something different? What do you think you would collect instead of? Now, Amanda, as our guest, you have the option to answer this question first or the option to answer this question after somebody else. What would you like to do?
I mean, I can answer it first. I know it'd be modulars. I look at them, but I don't want to buy them. But that would be... I'd be all in on modulars if Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that's good. I think there's some really nice modular sets out there as well, isn't there? So you've got a very varied and eclectic mix to pick from. I mean, some of the recent modulars that they've released in the last couple of months have been fantastic. I mean, God, where do you even start with modulars? There's just you could get lost in them, I think, to be honest with you.
You buy some of the other sets and turn them into modulars on some of those rebrickables. I just saw one with the Disney castle.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
I've seen that one as well, and like you say, yeah, it just looks fantastic. I think a Disney Castle is a modular. Lego, if you're listening, we've given you a potential idea here. If you want to split the profits 3 ways, please get in touch with us. We can sort all that out for you.
You can build the whole band that way, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, now that is something that you could definitely consider, and I would, I'm all for that. I think that's a proper good idea. I'm 100% invested in that. Yeah. I'm going to just make that, I'm going to write that down on my notepad and I'm going to steal that one. Now, we come to Lady Pod. Now, Pod, I mean, you're kind of dabbling in a lot of different sets. We know you have a very large and expansive backlog, but, I mean, what would you collect if you didn't collect half the stuff that you've got? Because, I mean, you'd have to pick something that you wouldn't ever have access to. So what do you think it would be?
Anything that I don't already collect?
Yeah, or you don't collect a lot of.
Ooh, I don't think that there's really anything that I don't collect or don't collect a lot of.
I know.
I have a ton of the art sets. I have a lot of idea sets. I have a couple of the modulars, which I really like personally, and I think I'm moving towards modulars right now. I think the only things I don't have are some of the retired themes that are not really around. I don't think I would commit to dots right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking around. I think I have something of everything. I actually do have dot sets as well, but not that many of them. The only thing I know I don't have is I have one Ninjago set that I didn't really mean to buy, and then I have no Chima. I think I have pretty substantial amounts of everything else though, unless it's retired. Like Blacktron I don't have. I have a little bit of Technic, but I think that's a little bit of a harder question for me.
I realised when I kind of came up with the topics for tonight, I was like, I'm asking Pod Bricks, what would she not collect? And I'm like, she has quite a lot. I mean, you and I have been friends for a long time, Pod.
Yeah.
We've spoken a lot on Late Night Lego and Brunch and Bricks and various other things about some things that you collect. And I mean, just to name off a few of the things that you have sitting around your compound, in brackets, you've got a lot of the retired Lord of the Rings. You've got Pirates of the Caribbean.
No.
Don't you? Do you have Pirates of the Caribbean, don't you? I thought you did. Oh,
no.
Well, that's...
I have a pirate ship, but it is a Lord of the Rings pirate ship ambush.
That's the one I'm getting confused. That's what I'm getting confused on. Because, it's a pirate ship in Lord of the Rings, Go figure. Yeah, and obviously, you have the set that I'm exceedingly jealous of. You've got the Tron Legacy one, which is fantastic, and you've also got a couple of Star Wars sets as well. And you've got I can see Wally just in the bottom corner there as well. So
Oh yeah, Wally is my pride and
I mean it's
now.
kind of fitting that we're talking about Wally because obviously there's going to be the Wally and Eve brickheads that are going to be released soon, which I think look absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I'm very excited about them.
I can tell you.
I have been instructed not to buy them. Though.
Okay. Is that the official? Is that the official disclaimer, or is that just the cover story that you're not going to buy them, but we know you want?
No. That is a strict instructions from Mr. Pod to not buy them myself.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will be getting potentially. I got a heads up. My Valentine's Day gift is probably going to be a I owe you one Wally and Eve upon release of March 1st.
It's a bit of a cop-out, that really, isn't it?
I kind of said the same thing, but I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna just let it be.
You know what? I'm not qualified to answer any of these questions here, but I would say, in my honest opinion, Mr. Pod, if you are listening to this podcast when it is debuted and streaming, mate, sort your life out. Come on, Wally's there. Let the lady have the brickheads before, come on, don't be that guy. Just saying. And I think, to be honest with you, if obviously you guys know me and my very, very extensive love of Star Wars, and it would absolutely break my heart if they turned around and said we're never going to do Star Wars ever again. I think I would actually be inconsolable. But then I also collect Marvel as well, and I've also got some of the idea sets as well. But I think, actually, surprisingly, if they told me I couldn't collect them anymore, I think I would actually delve into Lego City as well, or maybe like Lego Ideas, because one thing that I know a lot of content creators out there do, and a lot of people do, is they do their own city mocks, and they've got their own cities lying around, and you see some of them on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and things like that. And it's a big commitment to build a Lego city.
Yeah.
So I would I'd certainly give it a go, but I'd need space.
I just like the fact that you said they have their city lying around as if it's just casually lying around.
Like neat blocks, like this is Main Street, this is one, this is the other. I meant in that kind of line, not as in just, there's a police station there, there's a jazz club over there, there's a town hall, just kind of just dotted around, Yeah, just casually there. But I think Lego City does some really good things as well, and I think, like as Amanda said, Lego Ideas have some absolute fantastic things, and modulars as well. I like the fact that a lot of the things we're getting now are modular. They're a lot more varied. People have the option to change things up, and a lot of the older sets are now adapted so that you can fit them in with the newer sets as well. And I like the fact that it offers diversity, especially if you missed out on a retired product and you can now get hold of it, and you're not sure if it fits into any of your collection or any of your displays. I like the fact that it offers that diversity, which I think is very, very nice.
Yeah.
Especially for younger collectors as well, who are maybe starting off a collection and kind of want to build their way up. So yeah, but
price, that's what does it for me.
Yeah,
is their price commitment.
Yeah, on our last week's episode with Ken and Just 15 Bricks, we were talking about how when we look at sets, pricing is a big factor, and I think especially now with ideas and modulars and things like that, price point is a big factor for a lot of collectors. And I think if you are going to start to maybe collect a new theme, or you are going to maybe think about collecting something different, you have to factor that into your budget as well, because you don't want to make yourself exceedingly poor than you already are.
Yeah. From our collections.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That A-frame that just came out, I decided against not ordering it, even though I did quite like it.
Really?
Because it's, $190?
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
I think it's $179. Is it $199 or $179?
Yeah, it's within that kind of price budget, isn't it?
It's around that. Yeah.
Yeah. Too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
I'll save the Harry Potter stuff in March, and the potential new Gringotts that's rumored. I'll save my money for those.
Yeah. I mean, this is the guy who just spent 344 British pounds on the UCS Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars. So, I'm not going to say anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I mean, if you love it.
Oh, yeah.
Then...
And it's possibly slated to be retired at the end of this year anyway. So, if anything, it's an investment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go there.
Oh.
But...
investment.
But I will say that that topic of alternate themes has taken us very nicely onto our second topic, which I think our shorter topic was the first one, because I think this one will be very good as a discussion topic, which is discussing, obviously, intellectual properties. Now, we know Lego has licensing for a lot of different things, and that licensing stretches to certain things, it doesn't stretch to others. And my question to both of you ladies, and this is a very open forum, it is hypothetical as well. It doesn't have to be something that we think Lego are going to release or will be releasing. It's all speculation. It's all hypothetical. This is a safe space, so there's no judgment here. This is the safe bubble. And it is, what do we think the next possible intellectual property could be in Lego form? Now, I have had this conversation come up numerous times on TikTok lives and comment sections before, but I felt like in a podcast episode with the two of you who have your very own respective fan bases. You both have your own things that you're very much into. And I felt that this was a really good conversation starter to get a very broad perspective on. So, Pod, I'd like to go first with you. What do you think the next possible intellectual property could be in Lego form, if you had to guess or take a stab at something?
I think for me, I was having a little bit of a hard time, mainly because Lego has intellectual property for quite a bit already, and everything else that I kept thinking of, if I did a quick search, another brick place kind of owns it, whether it's Mega Constructs or Blue Bricks or whichever. I actually kind of struggled with this question a little bit. And the only thing that I was thinking of is, instead of going into modern Disney, that they went backwards into Disney. And then I also found out this morning, because I wrote my notes down yesterday when I was looking everything up. And then I got sent some leaked items that I think that's what they're actually going to be doing. From what I've seen. So I feel like I don't know, but I might know.
Yeah, I had a hard time with this one too.
Yeah, I think what I liked most about picking this as the topic was I knew that the three of us would definitely struggle, but the last kind of 24 to 48 hours in terms of rumours and leaks and things like that have brought up some very interesting things. But I like the fact that we could possibly discuss things that we know are rumoured, but also things that we would maybe even like to see as a Lego theme, because obviously, you know, there's the whole Disney announcement now. They've identified what the mystery minifigures are going to be for the Disney polybags, which is very nice, actually. I think that's something to kind of look forward to, because I mean, you'd be really, really, really annoyed if you did the mystery minifigure collection and then you ended up like getting like 7 Pinocchios or something like that. Like, that would be my look for the mystery minifigures line.
I actually haven't seen that.
I feel like
I'll look that up. I haven't seen the minifigures.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think they have about 18 that they are coming out with for the Disney 100th anniversary.
Yeah, and then obviously for Disney 100 as well, they're discussing, obviously, you know, I think Snow White has come up as a buildable set as well, and then Maleficent as well as another one that has possibly come up. And I think Disney 100, it's long overdue that we're getting more specific Disney-based things in Lego form, because obviously Lego has a collaboration with a lot of Disney properties. So, for example, you know, Marvel, Star Wars, things like that. But I absolutely think it's nice that we're going to be getting more Disney-specific, not from one specific movie, one specific theme in Lego form. So I think Disney 100 is going to, if it takes off well, which inevitably it's Disney, it will, we could see a lot more Disney-based things, and it opens up the platform to endless possibilities when it comes to Lego, really. Because can you imagine building, say, for example, a Disney village of Disney of like Lego sets? That would be insane, I think.
Or your own Disney.
Exactly, that's cool.
Like,
well,
you could have.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I. Yeah, and I honestly had thought that's the route that they were going with, because of the little mini Disney castle, the mini haunted house, the haunted mansion. I thought that they were going to be going into more of the mini Disney park attractions. And I personally would be all for that. And I'd like to be able to make a little mini Disneyland or Disney World or whichever, or have the option of doing either World or Land or some of the international things that they have. I think that there's a lot of possibility looking back at the last 100 years, though. It literally has so much to choose from.
That's the scary thing, is when you realize 100 years of Disney, where do you even start? Because you have to pick certain things out as well. That's what makes it insane.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I was also thinking video games.
Yeah, I had the same thought as you, Amanda.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And you could do like, you could take the nostalgic route, and you could do like newer stuff like Fortnite. Fortnite's definitely got a lot of stuff and color and all that you could get quite a lot out of the video game realm. Yeah,
it does seem like it'd be right up their alley, considering that they have gone through like the Atari phase, the Nintendo phase, the Minecraft. Like, it would make sense that maybe Fortnite. I think the IP is owned by someone else right now.
I know I've seen Halo,
but there's
somewhere. Is that Construct or something?
Yeah. I know Halo, because I have a couple of the Mega Constructs Halo kind of sets, bits and pieces, really. They came in a bulk buy, and then they also have Horizon, because I know I have the Tall Neck, which is really tall. It's taller than R2-D2 back
That's
then.
like one of the few Sony PlayStation exclusives they've ever released in Lego form, and you can get that in a lot of places.
Yeah,
and it is, as Pod said, it's massive. It's a nice display piece, but I think it's a little bit too niche as well, because if you're an Xbox fan and you don't play PlayStation, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're not really going to know what it is. But it's a fantastic set, and I think video games is a really good one. And I mean, Minecraft is a prime example of that. How popular Minecraft is in Lego form, and it's all about building diversity and bricks. And Fortnite, I think Fortnite and Lego is a collaboration that, hell, I don't even think we needed, but we definitely do need to think about now, because...
Well, I know how much my 14-year-old wants to spend on Fortnite, and we like live a lot. And if it was in Lego form as well, and all the other Fortnite, that's those, they'll just keep, like Mario, you can just keep adding fun to it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a nostalgia idea, because the video games I play are, 30 years old.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Maybe with Tetris somehow, going vertically instead of horizontally.
I would love Tetris. I love
I can
Tetris.
interact in something or other. I would be excited about that. I didn't even realize that the Mario one did that at first. And then I saw a couple of videos like months after I had seen that set and was like, wow, that's so much cooler now.
Yeah. And I mean, Lego and video games does go hand in hand, because if you remember, Lego Dimensions was kind of linked to video games as well, wasn't it? They had specific Lego figures and Lego sets for the Dimensions video game, and then Lego and Star Wars and Lego and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter have all been part of video games. So there's options there. I mean, we're talking about retro gaming. I think Zelda could have been a really interesting one for Lego as well. That is something that I don't know if Lego will ever do, but Lego Zelda, I think, for a lot of other older fans, would definitely appeal.
Yeah. I think Zelda is still relevant even now, because they did come out with the game not that long ago. And considering, I feel like Zelda's one that I always see rumors that Lego's going to be coming out with, that people really want it, but it always ends up just being a rumor and then it never comes to fruition. But I feel like I've heard that for years now.
I know exactly what you mean. It's one that kind of is always on everybody's wish lists. And I mean, spoiler alert for those of you who are listening to this podcast, when I was planning this topic, I had about 4 or 5 potential topics. One of them has been covered. Thank you to Amanda. She's covered video games very nicely. So, hey, that's good. I also looked at potentially things that Lego could maybe do in, say, 10, 15 years down the line, things that if they worked out the licensings for, and things that they could potentially do would be very interesting. One avenue I have thought of was kind of linked to our previous topic, actually, which was like a modular set and Lego ideas. And one option I had was like maybe historical buildings throughout history, and things like the British Museum or the Louvre, and having floor by floor. If they did like a British Museum, floor 1 you could have, say, like a prehistoric exhibit. Floor 2 you could have, say, the ancient world. Floor 3 would be like, say, I don't know, the Industrial Revolution, something like that. And then you'd have like nice little Easter eggs, maybe link it subtly with Night at the Museum, something like that. And then finish off with like space at the top as like the final floor. And then you could have something, say, like NASA-y or something like Alien-y, something to kind of just make it a little bit fun. And it would be maybe a $300 to $400 set, say a few thousand pieces, but it would fit in well for those people who want display, for those people who want like modularity, for those people who kind of just want to mix it with the Lego City. Something like that, I think, would be fun, even if it's not a full like theme. Even as like a one-off set idea would be really nice, I think.
Yeah, so
do you think that's I was just gonna say, do you think that might be the route that they're going? Because we did have the pyramid that came out, and it had that display feature where you had the pyramid itself, but you could take it apart and see inside of it. It kind of sounds like that, but on a much bigger scale. Do you think it's
I'm thinking
the start,
kind of like
maybe, of it?
Jazz club sort of style thing. They've done that, and then I think obviously you'd have to work out the licensing agreements for things like that, and you'd have to work out the royalties. I mean, Buckingham Palace was another option as well, which I thought would be really cool. You could have, like, say, little mini Lego corgis, you could have, like, the crown jewels, things like that, and who knows how it could go. I think I'm kind of really into my ideas now. After building the Sanctum and building the Daily Bugle, which I must admit, nearly destroyed my soul, but the Sanctum is ace. I'm sort of really getting into my modular sets right now, and I think something like that, as specific historical buildings and themes as a set or as a set theme, would be quite interesting. It obviously appeals to more mature, say 15 plus to 18 plus collectors because of the complexity of it, but I think it could work. So I don't know. I haven't kind of thought about it in that much of a detail until I only had like the National Museum and the Louvre, because I thought those are like two buildings that everybody would reckon, because we've had the London Eye, we've had Big Ben, you know, we've had the Statue of Liberty, we've had the Eiffel Tower, which is trash, but we won't talk about that. So who knows?
Is the Lego Eiffel Tower, is it an icon set, or is it like an architecture, like a really big architecture set? I have not looked into it because I saw the price and the piece count and the size, and I was like, nope, not
I think it's icons, isn't it?
I want to say
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. Again, either way, it's overpriced and overhyped for what you get. I mean, Gen X Bricks did his own version, which I think is far superior. If you've not gone and seen that, check out Gen X Bricks on TikTok. He's done his own version using his own pieces, and it's fantastic, and I would highly recommend that you go and look at his version. Another option I thought of for potential themes was something like Power Rangers, because they've announced the anniversary shows, but again, it's the licensing and the royalties of that, because can you imagine doing, say, each different wave would be a different Power Ranger series? You'd have like Mighty Morphin, Turbo, Lightspeed Rescue. You could easily get Power Rangers battle packs, and you know, like say mechs and things like that would be pretty cool, and then like Megazords and all that kind of jazz would be interesting. But again,
that would be pretty cool. I think a lot of people love Power Rangers.
I definitely, it makes me kind of reminisce of the Voltron set and Optimus Prime, and kind of having that same icons feel. I'm just wondering if it'd be like a one theme, or if we'd get like a series, because we didn't get series with either of those so far.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit
unfortunately.
Like maybe they would release, say, a one-off set, see how well it performs, and then if it catches on, they'll release it as more of a wave. Because I think Power Rangers is one of those things that I'm surprised that I don't even think Mega Constructs have even delved into Power Rangers, have they? So, no, I don't. I think if that's the case, then I'm surprised that nobody has kind of gone that route, because I think it would catch on very well. And this is all hypothetical speculation. We don't know if this would actually happen, but in a parallel universe where Lego has the rights to Power Rangers, you can just imagine some of the things that they could come up with. Like, imagine, say, like anniversary sets of different Power Rangers, and you can have like, say, different ones mixed in. You have battle packs and things like that. So that is one IP that I've really thought of that would be different, and the colours would be interesting.
A lot of potential, and I like the colour part.
Yeah,
also.
Absolutely. But then it also opens up the idea of, you know, how we've got like helmets and things like that, and we've got the other things. Imagine doing, say, Power Rangers helmets as like a sub theme of Lego. Yeah, that would be cool. Like,
I would really like the helmets. Take
my money and just produce that.
We could get some Harry Potter like wizard hats too.
Yes.
While we're at it, that'd be. There's a few different.
I am surprised. I'm surprised that we haven't gotten more Harry Potter wands, like buildable wands, where they look a little bit more like their intended person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And funny that you should mention that, Miss Pod of the Bricks, because our next topic is one that I know has been something that we have not really covered a lot on the Fandom Bricks podcast, which is Harry Potter itself. And it's kind of fitting that I have got both of you on this episode of the podcast, because Harry Potter has been a big theme in Lego for well over 20 odd years now. I mean, I remember in the early 2000s when it first came out in Lego, and I remember having some of the original sets, and then some of the sets of the early 2000s when it was Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. And Harry Potter it's had a brief hiatus, sort of the late 2010s, but then it's kind of come back a bit more now. And it seems to me that Harry Potter is at the height of where it could be. But my question is, what is next for Harry Potter? Because surely the bubble has got to burst for Harry Potter. And it's only fitting that I ask this question to Amanda, as for those of you who are not followers of her on TikTok, Amanda is a massive, massive Harry Potter fan as well as a Lego fan. Lego Harry Potter is her niche. This is what I have known her for and what I have become a very big fan of her content for. And my question to you, Amanda, is what is next for Harry Potter, if you had to guess, or we speak about this?
I would love to see more creatures, more of the magical creatures. And I'd also like to see something more technical that you could add a motor to and make it move or something. Not just a train, but like maybe a cauldron where like pieces of Lego could come up and bubble or something. I mean, these are some of the like random ideas I was thinking of last night, but I'd like to see a remake of the Durmstrang ship. I kind of expect that to come if they are going to start redoing things like they, kind of some of the stuff from March is remakes, like the mermaid one. So I'm kind of expecting some to get remade, like Rumor of the Gringotts, that sort of thing. But I would be really excited if there was some stuff that was more technical and like moved or you could add a motor to.
That is quite good, yeah. And I think, like you said, the fact that they're remaking things, because obviously March 1st, we're getting the Room of Requirement again, because the last Room of Requirement was absolutely awful, in my opinion. Like, it was not a nice set to own. It was awful. Yeah.
I just built that set.
That one's on.
No, before we went live on the podcast, I was going over like the topics and stuff, and Kate said to me, she goes, "What are you going to talk about?" And I said, we're going to talk about Harry Potter because this is what I know both of you for. And we said about the Room of Requirement. She goes, "Oh yeah, because the last one was absolutely awful." And I just went, "I'll mention it briefly, but I feel like I might offend somebody if I said that." So I was like, "Keep my mouth shut."
Everyone can have their own opinion.
Of course. But
yeah,
no, I like that. I think a Technic kind of style motorized cauldron would be fun. And like you say, you could either have the cauldron spinning or bits coming out of it as well. You could definitely do a lot with that. And I also like the idea of like a motorized like Quidditch pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yes. That'd be cool.
You could have like all the wands flying around or going up and down and things like that. And that in itself is pretty good. And then you could also have, say, for example, this was one that when we were thinking this out, I liked in Harry Potter when the Dementors are going towards Hogwarts. I was like, imagine that as like a micro scale one with motorized Dementors going towards Hogwarts.
Yeah.
There you go. That license to print money there. Yeah. Now.
Well, there are fans that are growing up, right? So if you did the Harry Potter Lego, 5, 10, 15, even 20 years ago, now you're ready for something more technical. And they're putting out a lot of more advanced sets. So I think it's time for a little bit.
Very true.
Step up there.
I definitely was on that same thought when I was putting together like my ideas and things like that. I also thought about it as we've been through the early 2000s, now the 2010s, and then we had like the 2018 like release of some of their sets, and it feels like I've kind of grown up with that same time frame on there. And I had a lot of thoughts as well of I want a challenge. I want to build that actually has less of a play style. It just opens up, unfolds, and you just build the brick on top. I want something that might be a little bit more either Technic, which I dare to say. It's like a forbidden word, very reminiscent. But I do want a bit of a challenge, and I know that like with other themes, they've had other sets that have been very Technic, and I think about little R2 here, who is the bane of many people's lives. But I want something that is going to be challenging, and I thought about it as like not Gringotts the top, but I want Gringotts underneath, where they have, maybe the cart going around that is motorized, very similar to maybe not the loop coaster, but the old school roller coaster one.
That'd be dope.
I think that would be a great idea.
Get my money. Where's my card?
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of like that,
right?
That rumoured Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom one, isn't it? That's sort of motorized. So if it's of that vein, I get that pod. That's a really good idea, and I think I liked your discussion of, say, buildable wands. I think that is a really fun, cool, quirky idea, because you can go out to certain places now and you can buy like collectible wands anyway that are in like the white boxes. But I think Lego wands, they're doing Lego lightsabers, they're doing helmets, they're doing things like that. I mean, it seems like Lego wands for some of your favourite Harry Potter characters, it just seems like it's there. Like, why aren't they doing it?
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if it's maybe a little hard to translate it to brick style, or how big it's going to be. Like, is it going to be 1-to-1 scale, or is it going to be a little bit bigger so that they can actually get the details in it? Because I'm thinking about I have a couple of the wands that we got from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the interactive ones. And I know I have Luna's wand, and it's very it looks like a tulip basically, and I don't know if they'd be able to get that same similar shape if they had it 1-to-1 scale, or it might look a little
it's possible, but yeah, it's interesting. And what were you saying, Amanda? Sorry.
Oh, they'd have to play around with it, see what kind of scale would work. I think it's possible, but there might be a couple new shapes involved, maybe.
Yeah.
New elements, always a plus.
Who knows? For all we know, maybe somebody has sat at, the Lego headquarters in Denmark and has kind of had to sit at a desk for long, long hours trying to design numerous wands, and has just thrown them out of the window and just gone, no, never, ever, ever make wands in Lego form. I'd just like to imagine that somebody's actually doing that, because it sounds very plausible when you think about it that way. The way Pod's described it, there's a lot of thrown away bricks there. But it'd be a lot of really dark colours as well. It'd all be browns, blacks, greys.
Isn't that what we're getting already?
What's your mouth, Pod?
It's just dark. It's just dark grey, black, and gray. Oh wait, and there might be a different gray.
I think it's the least colorful series.
Wow. Okay. For those of you listening, we do not endorse the comments of Ginger Lady or Pod Bricks on the Fandom Bricks podcast. They do not speak for all of us here at the Fandom Bricks.
I mean, if you have two of the Harry Potter ladies, come on, you kind of have to. You have to understand.
I'm grateful that the two of you have stepped in to film this episode of the Fandom Bricks podcast, and I love the fact that I'm discussing Harry Potter, which is a topic I don't get to talk about very often. But I also do not appreciate the fact that you are slating one of my favourite themes. Come on, guys, this is not how this is working.
No.
Yeah. One thing that I thought of, for obviously what's next for Harry Potter, obviously there's been a lot of... We're not going to discuss it in the podcast because it's not our place to talk about it, and this is not the kind of environment to talk about it. But there's been a lot of comments made outside of Harry Potter and Lego about certain things that certain people have said and how it's affected the Harry Potter community and the fan base as a whole. And and that has got me thinking that potentially that could affect Harry Potter and its future going forward, because a lot of the fans now are older, they're more worldly wise and things like that. But it seems to me that Harry Potter, a lot of us grew up wanting to go to Hogwarts and wanting to get our letters and go through the sorting hat and things like that. And I think Hogwarts Legacy, which is coming out 10th of February, the video game on all platforms, I think that could potentially lead to something to do with Harry Potter sets as well, because not only is it Harry Potter specifically, but it's the Wizarding World as a generalised theme, because Fantastic Beasts also fits into the same sort of universe, even though it's 20, 30, 40 years before the movies, and Hogwarts Legacy is set at the end of the at the end of the 19th century into the start of the 20th century. And it got me thinking that Hogwarts Legacy could be an interesting avenue to go down for if we're going to talk about Lego, because it's a timeline that hasn't really been discussed a lot in the Potterverse and in any of the books. So that's an option, maybe.
True. I think people are familiar with it, but they could become more familiar with that period. But we also have to just make some of it up, right?
Yeah, I definitely kind of agree. I think there's potential, but it is going to have to be a lot of it just coming up through your mind of...
Yeah, just wing it.
What could be, I guess.
No, I also liked the comment you made, Amanda, about the Durmstrang and, the ship from Durmstrang, because they've released that before. That has been a set of the early 2000s, and to the best of my knowledge, they've only ever done one like that, and they had the European-based one, and the global one was Victor Crumb and Professor Karkaroff with the minifigures, and then there was also a Target exclusive one that had Dumbledore, Ron, Harry, and a couple of other people in the set as well. That was exclusive to Target in the US and Canada. See, I've done my homework. I have actually researched some Harry Potter. And I like the idea of what you said, that they should do that as a modernized version, because can you imagine, say, a UCS kind of Ultimate Collector Series modular design Durmstrang ship?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And the carriage.
I I was about to say I would want to see the carriage. If we're gonna do a UCS Durmstrang, I want a UCS carriage with the, I can't remember what they are, but the like horses that
Is it?
the Pegasus, is it?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't remember.
Those two, if you're going to do the two together, would work very well because, I mean, they've done like a UCS Hogwarts Express. They've kind of done a few things like that, but I like the fact that it would still be within the remit of Harry Potter, but it would be different as well. Like, it's something that we've never seen to that scale as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very true. And I think it has a lot of options and a possibility for
absolutely.
Technic and maybe some moving pieces, especially with the Durmstrang ship. And if it's the Pegasus, if they're actually moving, I feel like that could be an option. That's what I personally was thinking of and what I would like to see. But I guess we'll find out as the years come.
One thing that I have been thinking a lot about as well was common room sets. So we've seen the Slytherin, we've seen the Ravenclaw one briefly, we've seen Gryffindor. We've never seen Hufflepuff's common room in the movies. Never. I know. And for those of you who are not aware, I went to near where I live. There is a Harry Potter Forbidden Forest tour, and I went and experienced that. And I'll admit, I was a bit skeptical. Is it going to be any good? And it was absolutely amazing. For those of you who follow my TikTok and my Instagram, we took Harry Potter and Hagrid brickheads with us, and we did some filming and we did some content for that. And when the things arose, we kind of had them in the background just posing with the various attractions at this thing. And I would highly recommend that if you are in the UK, you look up the Forbidden Forest experience because it is great. They have their own little version of Hogsmeade as well, and it is just absolutely phenomenal. And you get to pick your Patronus, and you get to it even picks your house for you. Spoiler alert, I found out that I was a Hufflepuff as well. Yeah.
Oh.
That is the best one. So I thought that's kind of nice. Amanda is a Hufflepuff as well. Pod, unfortunately, is a Slytherin.
I don't think it's unfortunate at all.
Not at all.
No, to be honest with you, yeah.
I feel like it's very fitting, actually.
To be fair, though,
I feel like that's the best option for me.
Narcissa Malfoy kind of look about you, don't you? So there you go. That's a compliment, by the way. I just want to clarify now for those of you who are watching this, that is not an insult. That is actually a compliment because Pod's hair is kind of based on that sort of look a little bit, I think.
Hufflepuff and Slytherin get along great. Unless you're rare, bad, mean Slytherin.
No.
But there's not very many of those.
Yeah.
No, but I like the idea of common rooms because that is something that I think could be fun. Even if they've done the Harry Potter book series, the Harry Potter moments and things like that. But I like the idea, and then obviously for March they're going to be releasing the Harry Potter house banners as well. So Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff and Gryffindor are all getting their banners. But I thought something like each house's common room, whether it be large scale, mini scale, whatever, I thought that would be a little bit different as well, because it kind of just breaks up the monotony of Hogwarts Castle, of the Astronomy Tower, of Hogsmeade and Hagrid's Hut. Just, it kind of gives the idea of Harry Potter just a little bit more diversity in some of the things you can get within the universe, I think.
Yeah. Well, I thought the house banners were supposed to be mimicking the common rooms for the houses, because that's what they open up to as.
Yeah, I think the inside is a small playable version.
But I think that I think a larger scale one would be better. So you could have say for example, it'd be so many pieces. You could have each of the portraits that opens up all the ways in. You could even make it maybe motorized or Technic as well and have it open, because obviously Slytherin one would be a snake that goes round, and then you've got Ravenclaws, which would open up that way. Hufflepuffs would be a barrel, something like that, or a badger, something along those lines. You kind of get the idea, but I like the idea of a modular style buildable one that could be interesting to kind of go through, and maybe they could do it a little bit like the Harry Potter trunk, but not as trashy, and have it with customizable Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Gryffindor minifigures.
One was disappointing.
This little tiny thing that you can barely see in my background here, that trunk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The size that got me whoa, this is half the size.
That was a shock. Yeah, I was shocked by the size.
Yeah. I think it'd also be cool to do the house mascots just like an animal. So a larger snake and a badger. Or a displayable thing. Yeah.
I mean, if they could make a Bowser, I'm sure that they can figure out how to make a badger.
And that Bowser's pretty cool.
This
He
big,
moves.
massive.
It is. It is.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you could still do with Harry Potter. Just haven't quite done it yet.
I think I was going to say, they just kind of keep focusing on maybe re-releasing a lot of the sets that we've had before. We do get a little bit of newer stuff now, like the house banners and whatnot, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of focus of re-releasing, and it feels, I don't want to say this anymore, it feels very reminiscent of the Star Wars re-releases.
You know, because this is a prime example. The Razor Crest, we've had like 4 versions of the Razor Crest in about 2 years, and that is getting monotonous now.
Yeah.
We've had yet another version of the TIE Fighter, another version of the X-Wing. So in some ways, I like the fact that they're doing Harry Potter again and they're re-releasing sets with better build techniques, with better pieces. We're getting, you know, some newer things. But also, you don't want another version of the Astronomy Tower. You don't want another version of Hagrid's Hut. You don't want another version of, I don't know, say, the Triwizard Tournament. You want something within the universe that they haven't covered.
Yeah, I agree completely. Feels about maybe half and half.
Yeah.
Maybe a little off of that right now.
Yeah. I will say at least it's a balance of like half and half, because we are getting a little bit of newer stuff. I just wish that it was newer stuff that might be a little bit more bigger, more technical, advanced, and in my opinion, less playsets. But then we get like the UCS, the collector's edition, not UCS, but of the train, and I don't know. Like, it is bigger, but it also was still disappointing. I don't know.
It's the same with the Hulkbuster as well in Marvel. Like, the massive Hulkbuster in Marvel is the same example. Like, it's big, doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they also they went and released a smaller version of it that's like a $50 version, which everyone loves. Like, I don't necessarily want bigger stuff that's just going to be released again as a smaller version, or a smaller version then released as a bigger version in your example of the Razor Crest. I know that there's so much that you can do, but I feel like there's also a lot that they haven't done still. I still want care of magical creatures and having more of an emphasis on any of the beasts and the Thestrals and Buckbeak. We don't really get a lot of that side of it.
You know, I am going to say as well, potential idea, house ghosts as brickheads.
Oh, nearly headless Nick.
Yeah.
He could actually be
in the movies.
Yeah.
Damn it.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be cool to see him on a brickhead. Do you think a lot more from the books, or do you think that they, like, if they did do more stuff and expand, do you think they would do just mainly movie things, or do you think that they would do the book stuff because so many people have read it?
I think they should focus more on the books because there's a lot that's left out of the movies, but I don't know how their IP works on what they're licensed for, and that's kind of my concern, is why we keep getting maybe re-releases of scenes, because we keep getting movie scenes. We keep getting movie-related sets. I'm wondering if it is something to do with how they're licensed.
Yeah, because Peeves is not in the movies whatsoever, but it'd be cool to see him as a brickhead, like you had mentioned the ghost.
It'd be cool to see him, period, even as like a little mini
That's one thing that you kind of surprised me, and I think a lot of it as well is also, you know, J.K. Rowling must have some kind of input in this as well, because obviously, you know, she designed the universe that they're building Lego about, and obviously they must have it's the same with like Marvel and Star Wars and things like that. You know, Stan Lee had some directional input in how the media and the merchandising went, and obviously George Lucas, up until he sold to Disney, had the same kind of thing. I mean, they released George Lucas as a 3 3/4 inch minifigure in Stormtrooper armor. Yeah. So, you know, that says a lot. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
adorable. The pictures
I didn't know that either.
But you kind of get the idea. So there must be like, I like what Pod said though, that we should get more book based stuff, because it kind of makes sense, because a lot of us grew up reading the books and then they made the movies from the books, but the books cover everything that the movies miss. But I don't know.
Nothing to have Lego stuff. If they could.
Yeah.
But I think we will draw a line under that one, because we could be here speculating all night as to what they could be next for Harry Potter. But again, if any of you who are listening to this podcast have any ideas for Harry Potter or anything like that, when this drops on YouTube, please drop any comments in the comment section of that and we'll try to answer them. If you have any other suggestions as well, you can contact the Fandom Bricks podcast and we can answer those comments for you on a TikTok video as well. But again, Harry Potter, it's such a strong IP and it's been a staple of Lego and their fortunes of the last 20 years. Why not give them the opportunity to kind of do a little bit more for it? And that, my dear guests, takes us on to our final topic of this podcast. We are almost at an hour where 3 grown-ups have spoken about Harry Potter and various other miscellaneous Lego-based items, but it has been fun, and I think it has been different from our usual Marvel, DC, and Star Wars talk, so, you know, it's nice to kind of change the format up a little bit. And normally what happens at this segment of the podcast is we do our weekly Lego draft. Now, we did the Lego Star Wars one with Beth the All-Time Yashin, which was rather fun. We are still waiting for the poll of that one. I mean, just based on sheer character power, I feel that I won, but because it's Beth the All-Time Yashin and she has the star power, it's fair to say that she won just the popular vote because it's Beth. Last week, we had Ken and Seamus with us, and we decided to not do a Lego draft for that one, and we kind of just did something a little bit more wholesome, and we spoke about 3 of our top favourite sets in our collection and what we really liked. But I thought, since we've got Amanda with us, and we've got Lady Pod of the Bricks as well, you know, or Podme Amidala, whichever one you want to call her.
It's funny because I'm not as
kind of,
into
kind
Star
of
Wars, and yet I get a ton of Star
you
Wars
are
names with
least
my name.
interested in Star Wars, but you have a lot of Star Wars-based nicknames. Now, for tonight's episode of the draft, we are not going to be doing minifigures, which is what I suspect a lot of you would go for. No, I felt it'd be really good for us to do Harry Potter sets of the last 20-odd years. Now, many of you growing up will probably remember that Lego Harry Potter used to have yellow-faced Harry Potter characters like all the other licensed themes did before they changed to flesh-coloured ones. And we have seen an awful lot of Harry Potter based sets come through many Lego stores, which is why I feel like between the 3 of us, I think we could have a very eclectic mix of what we think could win us a Lego set draft. Now, Amanda, as our guest, you have the option to go first or defer that option, and you can decide if Pod or myself goes first in our draft. So it's entirely up to you. As the guest, you have the right to either go first and get out of the way, or put one of us on the spot and make us pick. Obviously, I will say, just as an insider scoop here, Pod is like leading in terms of popularity of her thing. She did the last Lego draft with us and she absolutely wiped the floor with myself and Sam. So you are leaving yourself open to that possibility. So what would you like to do?
Okay, this is my first draft that I'm ever doing, right? I just want to make sure we're not just picking things for
the main
figures
you.
in the set,
You could
right?
pick it for a variety of different reasons. If you like the minifigures, if you like the build, if you like the value of that set, the price per brick, anything like that is entirely up to you.
All right, well then I'm gonna pick my first one as the Durmstrang show, because that's my unicorn.
Okay, let me go ahead and just.
I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say
delete
now.
that off my list.
I think Podbricks may have had that written down.
Oh.
And I think off the bat, that is a very good shout. I am very much approving of that one. I didn't have it written down because I had a feeling you'd pick it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like
Pod.
that.
Yeah.
Pod. I think it's only fair that I let you go first on this next one because you've just missed out on the Durmstrang ship. So would you like to pick your first one, please?
I am gonna go with something that I actually really love, but have many issues with. I'm going the Hogwarts Castle, the big castle, our collector's edition castle.
Oh, you got the massive collector's one.
Fair.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I want the big castle.
Yeah. No, that is.
Well, I mean, I have
solid.
the big castle,
is,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, God, you two have gone big.
Yeah. Well, it has pretty much Well, it has the microfigs, which essentially have many of the actual characters that are in it. I have to rebuild mine still. I also have a light kit that I hope goes well after yours. For anyone that doesn't know, Ginger Lady did put a light kit on hers, and I cannot stop laughing about it. So.
It has Disney sound.
Oh, God. Wow, okay, this is really hard.
Peter
Oh,
Pan
Jesus. Honestly. What is this? We started off so well, now it's just descended into anarchy. Yeah, if you want to go check that one out,
so
please do so, because it is definitely worth a laugh on that one. I would highly recommend that you check it out. And I'm going to say, for my first pick of the Lego draft, since you two have gone big, we've gone for one retired Harry Potter set that has been mentioned a couple of times in the podcast, and we've gone for the massive collectors Hogwarts. I am going to kick things off with the collectors Diagon Alley.
Ooh.
I figured someone was going to take it.
I mean, the price point is quite expensive, but it is a nice
okay.
set, and it's one of those things that I don't collect Harry Potter, but I will collect Diagon Alley because it just looks fantastic. And if you're going to do, say, a Magic-verse version of London as a city, you've got to get Diagon Alley, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to clarify, because there's been many versions, well, there's been a couple versions of Diagon Alley. You're thinking of the big collector's
releasing,
edition, right?
I think it's 2020, 2019, 2020. Yeah, the one above Amanda's head. Yeah, that one.
That one right there.
So
That one right there.
I've got my first pick. Amanda's got her first pick. Pod unfortunately didn't get her first pick, but she's come out the bat with something better. Amanda, it's time for your second pick. What are you going for? Damn it!
Face.
That was on mine.
Oh.
Go ahead and delete that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does move. I think that's a solid
Okay.
assessment on it. Yes.
I'm gonna get bigger though, like more row houses next to, you know.
I've seen a couple people do that. There's definitely quite a few mocks of Grimmauld Place of combining several of them.
Eventually.
Okay, Pod, your second choice. What are you going for?
The mock.
Okay, let me do a little maybe show and tell for this one, actually. I'm going with Mini Diagon Alley, which is number 40289.
Yeah.
The super mini one.
I mean, we've gone for the
It
big
is
one. You might as well pick the small
adorable.
one.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah,
course, as we
that's my
always
thoughts.
say, you know,
Exactly.
just because it's big doesn't mean that it's better. So there you go.
No, it is. It definitely is.
You know what? You do you. It's fine.
But, you know.
Right. Well, in that case, then, since
I do me.
have missed out on Grimmauld Place, I'm going to have to pick from another one on my list, which is going to be set number 76403, The Ministry of Magic.
Interesting.
Think about
Okay.
that one. What the?
I thought about that one. I didn't put it on my list, though.
It's not at the top, but I didn't even.
Again,
it didn't even cross my mind.
It's modular.
So I guess that's a
you
sign
can
of
you
something.
could buy different versions of it and change some of the bricks over, and you could have like your own large scale Ministry of Magic. That was kind of what I went for diversity on that one.
Good pick.
True. It just reminds me of
Yeah,
Christmas
of course,
every
yeah.
time.
And, you know,
Because
you
it's
don't,
like
you don't like anything like
green
that.
and red.
I mean,
No, it just the colors just throw me
so-
off. I don't know.
I've gone for
I don't
my
know.
first two picks, Diagon Alley and the Ministry of Magic. Podbricks has gone for the large-scale collectors Hogwarts Castle and mini Diagon Alley. Amanda has picked the OG Durmstrang ship and 12 Grimmauld Place. And now we return to number 3. So, Amanda, the floor is yours. What is your third pick?
I had these in an order, and I've slightly changed them this morning. So now, I think I'm gonna go with the Monster Book of Monsters.
Yeah, Kate really likes that
forgot
set. And she
about
mentioned
that
it
one.
before. And I think I'm not going to pick that because
That's a good
I know
one.
that Ginger Lady will probably have that written down somewhere, or Pod will have that. So, yeah. Shout out there. That's a very good pick.
That's a good pick.
Pod, what are you going for?
I think I'm gonna change my list up a little bit. I am gonna go with Hedwig. The one that moves.
Okay.
75979.
No, I was going to say. 'cause you
No,
hate that one.
not the icons. No.
I know.
Never.
That's why I was so
Never.
Oh, okay.
I hate that set, but just the little guy
Nice,
that's somewhere,
nice.
I think up here. I think right there. Yeah. He does move.
Yeah, just the wings. You know,
Moving
yeah,
is
that's
a
you know,
bonus.
it has some kind of movement. So yeah, automatically it's a winner. Wow, this is getting harder because I have so many written down, but I'm thinking to myself, how can I top the previous two, the previous picks of the two of you? So I'm going to go for set number 76392 from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going for Wizard's Chess because, again, it's not that fun, but you could take the Harry Potter minifigures out of it and you could have it as a standardized Lego chessboard and display piece as well. I'm kind of thinking about those people who kind of don't maybe collect Harry Potter but want a cool Lego chess set. Take the Harry Potter minifigures, sell them on eBay, sell them on Etsy or Vinted or something like that, and just have a Lego chessboard.
I feel like I got some issue with your explanation because we're picking, our Harry Potter sets, and you're talking about
picking one that you
immediately sell everything off for.
Is a chessboard and chess pieces, and don't get me wrong, the scene in the movie is fantastic.
I'm just saying.
But I have no need. I have no need to see Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
One might say.
Against, varying different versions of chess pieces when I can have my own Lego chessboard. It's fine. Yeah, but it's not a wizard chessboard, though, is it?
Buy a Lego chess set for that.
Yeah, fair, okay.
It's actually better than it.
She's got a rebuttal for everything on that one.
I know, I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry for all your picks that
just
I'm
because you didn't get the Durmstrang
taking notes on.
don't take it out on me, alright?
I'm salty now.
Yeah, honestly. Okay, so, Amanda,
I don't know.
you pick number 4 of our Lego draft. What are you going for?
I'm gonna go with the
nice.
Hogwarts Moments Herbology.
Interesting.
Fair. That's the one.
Yep.
That's the one Hogwarts Moments that we don't have in our collection here. Kate has got all the other ones. She still needs Herbology. That's the one that she really wants because she's a Hufflepuff as well, so it's kind of fitting that she has that one. Yeah. So,
Nice.
Pod, you have picked number 4. What are you going for? Oh, this is gonna be good.
Okay, so hear me out. I am going with Diagon Alley, released in 2011. The 10217. It's the one with the Gringotts Bank.
Oh, okay.
With Gringotts in it.
Bricklink lit.
Yeah.
Printed out. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It has some good.
Yup.
It has some good buildings. I like the way they look. Good minifigs.
I really do hope they redo
Gringotts.
like a bigger, grander version of Gringotts. I hope that rumor's true.
I hope
This
so,
year.
too.
It was a rumor
I just don't get how we managed to squeeze 3 Diagon Alleys into one, one episode of a Lego draft here. This is we might as well just said our top 5 Diagon Alley Lego. We'd have been here all night. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did.
To be fair, I did have all 3 of them on my list.
There's even the original one from 2001, which is just a building.
Is it 2001?
Yeah, I didn't like that
2001,
one. So
2002.
I think it was 2000. Yeah.
Yeah.
2000 what?
It's around there.
Pieces.
And 10 of those pieces are the minifigures as well, by the way. So it's actually 68 buildable pieces of a Diagon Alley.
That's funny. There's so much color in the
It's
first
okay.
sets.
I know.
There's a lot. Doesn't always make
Right. Okay. So for my next pick,
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the recent version of this, and I am going to pick the Attack on the Burrow set. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I also did not really think of that one.
It sounds like
I
Pod
did.
has an opinion she wants to
I
say,
did.
but she's trying to be diplomatic and not say it. Go on, Pod. It's a safe space. Would
We
you
will
like to
continue
elaborate,
on.
spill the tea for the rest of our streaming viewers here and our listeners?
I had it on my list. I took it off
okay,
in favor
okay.
of a different burrow.
I mean,
But again, it's not my turn. It's Ginger Lady's turn.
ooh,
And I
okay,
have
Amanda.
revealed my
I mean,
hand, but I have
this
other
is going
options.
to be
We'll see.
the final pick of our top 5. Each of us gets one honourable mention. So even though you've got a top 5, you are allowed one honourable mention, but it will not count towards your final score. Now, Amanda, this is your last pick. Please choose wisely and reveal to us pick number 5.
I am completely changing my 5. I'm going with the Sorting Hat, the very first Harry Potter set.
Wow.
4701. Oops.
I don't. Okay.
Yep, OG set.
Don't know if that is the first.
That's how
I don't think that's officially the first, because there's 4695, which is the night bus, and it I think predates. Or no, I'm looking at a brick set, by the way.
I've got like
no.
Bricklink printed out, and I've started making notes on what they're running so I can catch a good deal.
It has it off, yeah. It has it as a release of 2004, so yours is 2001.
Controversial there,
right.
you know. We've had to pause the podcast briefly whilst our statistical analysis kicks in, but we can confirm that Ginger Lady was correct. Yeah.
It just throws me off because of the numbering.
Yeah, for sure. That's the only
to
one.
be fair,
2001
that is like a good original set to go for. If you're going to finish off the top 5 draft, you're going to pick an original one, aren't you?
That's way better than what I had for number 5.
Pod, your last pick. What are you going for?
My last pick, I'm changing it up a little bit, but I forgot the name of it. It's the original Graveyard Duel.
Oh,
It's 4766.
what does that look?
And I believe that's the one
Yes,
that
it
has
does.
Voldemort
I think
that
it's got
glows in the dark.
Yeah, it's basically just a few great pieces, isn't it? But it's actually a really nice set from the Goblet of Fire.
8 minifigures.
Yeah, I pulled it up. Yeah, 8 minifigs, 548 pieces. Rough sizing on there. And it has the faces with the Death Eater masks on it. Although they don't look great and they kind of look like something else.
Yeah.
But I do like little
who doesn't love
glowy
glowing the dark Voldemort?
Better than the Advent calendar Voldemort with the tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't talk about
yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. That weirded me out. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to play this one very, very, very safe because I feel like no matter how this goes, Amanda has won. But I at least want to take silver medal over Pod Bricks on this one. You know, it'd be just really unfortunate if the host of the podcast came last in the poll. I am going to go for a set that is also from the original timeline of Harry Potter. So this isn't 2001, this is 2002. So this is Chamber of Secrets. And this is set number 4733, which is the Dueling Club.
Dueling Club. What is that? Oh, there it is.
Are you looking at your printout paper?
Yeah.
So she's just there with her Sharpie marker crossing things off as she goes.
No, I
It's
have last year's March releases, which is probably part of why I didn't even think of the Ministry of Magic.
I did notice that as well. There is actually quite a few sets that are not complete online, and I had to kind of pull.
So I've gone for the Chamber of Secrets Dueling Club, the one with Gilderoy Lockhart, Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, and it kind of has the like the stand that you can pull away from the main set, and you can have your minifigures battle each other. I like that because I remember growing up as a kid seeing that set and just being like, oh wow, I really need that. Never getting it, but I also like the idea that you could use that with all your different minifigures, and you could just kind of like have that nice playability to it. And I thought it's a nice little throwback to round off my 5. So, Amanda, for all our listeners and all our viewers, please can you tell us your top 5?
Durmstrang Ship, number 12 Grimwald Place, Monster Book of Monsters, the Hot Moments Herbology, and the original set Sorting Hat.
Pod, please can you let everybody know what your top 5 were, please?
The Hogwarts Castle, the UCS set, the mini micro little Diagon Alley, Hedwig, not the big one, Hedwig, the smaller movable Hedwig, to definitely clarify. Diagon Alley with Gringotts, and the Graveyard Duel with glowy
my top 5 were the UCS Diagon Alley, so the massive £700 Diagon Alley. I went for the Mystery of Magic, which seemed to have slipped the minds of both my guests. The Wizard's Chess, Attack on the Burrow, the recently released version of the Attack on the Burrow, and I have rounded off my top 5 with the Dueling Club from 2002 Chamber of Secrets. Now, Amanda, would you like to give us your honourable mention, please?
The Thestral carriage. Little small set, but I really enjoyed it, and the Thestrals are
very nice,
adorable. I love that.
Adorable.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah.
So that I can have more than one carriage when I eventually do my own wizarding world city thing.
Pod, what about you? What was your honourable mention?
Yeah.
Which version?
The Night Bus, actually.
Yeah.
The recent one. I think it's the recent one, actually. 75957. It does open up on the side. I do like that the chandelier actually shakes and the bed moves inside.
Yeah, when you basically move the bus, the bed moves.
Move the bus. I don't know.
Nice. I like both of those. I think those are both really nice honourable mentions. And my honourable mention for this top 5 is the Hogwarts Moments potions class as well, with the Seamus Finnegan with singed eyebrows and burnt face.
That's a good one.
Kate's got that one in the living room, and it's fantastic. The colour scheme is really nice. It's got that really nice shade of tealy green. It kind of it's just a fun little set, and again, the Seamus minifigure just really sets that off for me. Right, so that is our top 5 done. There will be a poll somewhere at the bottom of the screen when this video comes out for myself, Pod, and Ginger Lady, and you people get to decide how this goes. Who do you think has the best top 5? Is it our guest Amanda, the Ginger Lady? Is it Pod Bricks? Or is it me, the host, the Galaxy of Bricks? It's all up to you. We are officially at the end of this very slightly long episode of the Fandom Bricks podcast, but it has definitely been a nice change from the norm to discuss Harry Potter with 2 massive Harry Potter nerds, but I'm not against it. It's always nice to change things up. So thank you very much to Pod Bricks and the Ginger Lady. Now, Ginger Lady, where can the lovely people find you on your social media if they wish to follow you or if they wish to see any of your content? Where can they find you?
I am on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I've also got a Pinterest account. Don't know if that's
Oh, okay.
But I've pinned lots of Lego stuff. So, it's
I love that.
your name and
I love that.
picture. And thank you for having me on here.
There you go.
First podcast appearance ever.
It's been nice having you. So yeah, if you want to go and find the Ginger Lady and any of her content, you can find it on all of those social media platforms as well. And it's the first time anybody's ever mentioned Pinterest on the podcast. So there you go. Well, hey, and we now come to my bestest TikTok friend and also Lady Pod of the Bricks. Where can the lovely people find you, dear Pod?
Pretty much everywhere. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I am on Facebook. I got locked out of it, so I haven't posted in a very long time. Maybe don't look over there, but it is there. I also am on the Brick at Night podcast with your recent guest last time was Ken. And
Absolutely.
Brick at Night is
if you want to go
TikTok,
and check out their
Instagram,
content, please do
YouTube
so.
as well.
You know, they're a relatively new, non-established podcast. We want to give them all the support that we can, but you know, they are very much worth checking out. And I'm not going to lie to you, some of the stuff in their podcast is absolutely hilarious, and you should definitely check it out. If you've got a day to kill, just binge stream the entire podcast episodes because it's fantastic. And that is the Brick at Night. All the links and stuff will be posted on socials as well for you. Yeah. As always, you can find me, the Galaxy of Bricks, on TikTok. That is my main platform at the Galaxy of Bricks. You can find me on Instagram. That is like my secondary platform. I have recently posted some images of the Sanctum Sanctorum on there, so you can go and check those out. And you can find me on YouTube, but I haven't posted since like August or like July. Something like that. So you can go and check me out on there. Again, all 3 of those places at the Galaxy of Bricks as well. Thank you very much to both of my guests for joining me for this episode. It's been absolute fun, and I'm very much grateful that I get to be here talking about a nice change from Star Wars and Marvel and DC with the two of you, and we talk about Harry Potter, something that doesn't get spoken about very often at all in a lot of LEGO forums these days. So it's kind of nice to kind of change it up a little bit. This has been the Fandom Bricks podcast. We will be letting you know in advance when this episode will be debuted. Normally it drops on a Friday evening, ready for the weekend, and we hope that you guys will check it out. I don't have any time yet as to when Sam Bite Size will be back to join me as a regular co-host. He is taking some time off due to some things in his personal life. So we wish him well and hope everything sorts itself out very soon. But until next time, boys and girls, this has been the Fandom Bricks. I have been the Galaxy of Bricks. Thank you very much to both of my guests, and we will see each and every one of you very, very soon. Bye, guys.
The Fandom Bricks Podcast.